So I lived in the city now, but when I was younger, I used to regularly visit my grandma's house with my dad. My cousins were almost always there, and we used to play together. When I was little in that village, well, more like a small town, when me and my cousins went to play at the park, there was this abandoned club nearby. It used to be popular back in the day, but now all the windows are broken, the door is made out of glass, and almost everything was vandalized, graffiti everywhere. I was curious about what was inside, but never had the guts to even ask my cousins to go in. Even during the day, the club felt so off. I don't even know why, maybe because it was surrounded by trees? I don't know, but it just had this weird vibe. When I was around 13 or 14, I don't remember exactly. I had a friend who was in the same grade as me, but he moved to another country. He would visit every summer, and every time he came back, he would call me up. One summer we were really bored, and the idea came up that we should finally go to the abandoned club. He was braver than me, so he would go in first, because there's no way I would have the balls to go first. Around 10 p.m, we arrived with our bikes. It was pitch dark, with maybe 2 or 3 lampposts spaced far apart from each other, so the lighting was very dim. When we stood in front of the club, it felt very eerie. We spent like 20 minutes just trying to gather the courage to go in, but finally we did. We climbed over a broken glass at the door and squeezed through. Once we were inside, we turned on our phone flashlights. The place was a complete mess. Garbage bags all over the floors and walls, some needles on the ground, which was honestly very scary to see. And the whole interior was very weird. It was a pretty big space with this odd architecture path that led around in circles for no reason. Me and my friend were scared shitless. We tried to stay as quiet as possible so we wouldn't wake up some junkies or whatever else might have been living there. Then I was staring at the bar counter for like 5 seconds and my friend just disappeared. Oh my god, my heart dropped. I did a full 360 with my flashlight and he was just gone. I yelled his name and then something jumped on me from behind. It was him. He was laughing so hard while I was having a whole heart attack. I was so mad but very relieved. But while he was laughing, I suddenly heard another laugh. One that wasn't his. I actually heard it at first, but didn't fully register until it clicked. That laugh wasn't supposed to be there. I turned my flashlight towards the sound, and there was this guy. He was tall and skinny, with long, messy hair. I couldn't see his face properly, but I was scared when I first saw it. My relief turned into fear. I screamed and bolted out of there with my friend. We jumped on our bikes and pedaled so hard back to my grandma's house. That was seriously one of the scariest things I ever experienced. Later that night, we finally talked about it. And these are the questions that keeps running through my head every time I think about it. How did we not hear him? We were dead silent. Every step we made was so loud. So how the hell did he get that close without a sound? The fact that he was laughing with us made it so scary. He was probably an insane person or something. So, a bit of backstory. Last year, I downloaded this app called Night Talk. Basically a late night chat platform where you can meet random people. I was bored and lonely, so I thought it was a perfect idea just to look for someone to talk to. That's how I met Lily. At first she seemed perfect. Same music taste, same weird sense of humor. What a funny person. Even loved the same bizarre indie movies I did. We started talking every night, sometimes until 3 or 4 a.m. But here's the thing though, I never gave her my last name. I never told her where I worked. Never once I mentioned where I lived. But 3 months in, things started happening. First, I got a package on my doorstep. No label or no address. Inside the package was a scarf. The exact color I joked about wanting in a random late night chat weeks before. I left it off thinking maybe she guessed my address somehow from my IP or whatever, so I didn't confront her. Then I started getting photos. They came from an anonymous email. Blurry photos of me walking home from work. At first I thought it was coincidence, like maybe someone else took them, but one of them was a shot of me from my living room. That's when I realized this isn't normal. I stopped replying to Lily. In fact, I blocked her and everything. I switched my routines. I even switched my route to work. And no matter how much I switched and tried to avoid whoever was stalking me, it didn't matter. Every day I found something small on my porch. A flower, a candy wrap, once even a written note that said, "Don't ignore me, you're mine." I went to the cops and they told me without a name or proof, there wasn't much they can do. After that, I stopped sleeping properly. I will always wake up at 2, 3 in the morning thinking I heard footsteps outside my window. Then one night, I heard a soft knock on my bedroom door. Keep in mind, I live alone. I froze. I was too scared to move. I stayed in my bed, holding my breath until the morning. And then the next day, I checked my security cam footage, and there she was, standing in the hallway outside my apartment, just staring at my door for almost 2 hours. Update: I moved across the city. I have a brand new apartment, brand new phone, and I deleted Night Talk. But last night, when I came back from work, there was a single red scarf hanging from my doorknob. I might be going crazy. This happened last winter. I was working last night at a small diner. My shift ends at 1 a.m. and the walk home takes about 15 minutes. I have done it 100 times without any problems. Until this one night, I noticed a man across the street. He was leaning against a lamppost, just watching. I thought it was odd, but didn't think much of it. I figured he was just waiting for a ride. But when I took a left down my street, so did he. When I crossed the street, he also crossed. Every corner I turned, he followed. I sped up, so did he. By the time I got to my building, my heart was pounding. I sprinted up the stairs, slammed my door, and locked it, and looked through the people. And I promise you with all my dear life, I watched him slowly walk past my door like he was memorizing the number. The next night, same time, same place, he was there again. Different clothes, same blank stare, just watching. I don't know. I reported it to my boss and I asked for a different shift, but he kept showing up. Sometimes outside the dinner, sometimes across the street, sometimes already waiting on my block when I get home. I couldn't handle this. I was losing my mind. So one night, I stayed late at work thinking I could shake him. I got home around 3 a.m., walked up to my apartment, and there was a piece of paper taped to my door, and it said, "You're late tonight." I didn't sleep at all after that. I threw out the paper too. I couldn't bear just staring at that note. A week later, I quit my job and stayed with a friend across the town. I thought it was safe, but then yesterday, for the first time in months, I went back to my old place to grab my last stuff. On my way to the doormat, there was a single piece of paper, folded up in half. Inside, it was written in a shaky handwriting, and these are the 4 words that haunts me every single day. I miss you, Emily.